Welcome to Deep Dive Discussion, where we explore the ideas, strategies, stories, and inspiration that really matter.
This podcast is produced by Estayo, the creator of this program.
Now let's dive in. Okay, so you know that feeling. That alarm clock just drags you out of a nice warm bed.
Ugh. Yes. That automatic groan.
Right, the internal protest, like not another early start. It feels like everyone gets that.
It does. It really does. But what if that very annoyance, that little grumble about the day starting, what if it was actually something quite remarkable?
Okay, interesting. How so?
Well, that's the central idea, really, in Estayo and Cocoh Lacerna's book, The Unseen Privilege of Complaining.
Ah, okay.
And today we're going to really delve into one of their key principles. It's a perspective that can genuinely reframe how we see our everyday existence.
So the mission for this deep dive is basically exploring this unseen privilege, understanding the gift hidden in those routine moments we tend to ignore.
Exactly that. And yeah, our insights today are coming directly from excerpts of Yish and Coco's book.
Got it. So Ish and Cocoh, they lay out several powerful ideas, but the one that really stuck with me is their fourth principle.
Which one is that?
It is still a privilege to complain about another early morning because someone out there is praying for just one more sunrise.
Wow. Yeah, that hits hard.
Doesn't it? It's so concise, but it just unpacks this whole universe of perspective.
Absolutely. And what strikes you immediately, I think, is the inherent acknowledgement in the complaint itself. Meaning, well, to complain about an early morning is to kind of implicitly recognize that you have another morning.
Right. You have to be there to complain about.
Precisely. And yet, Ish and Cocoh, they bring our attention to the ones who never get another morning. Just imagine those individuals, went to sleep with plans, hopes.
Maybe even just minor frustrations about the day ahead, the stuff we complain about.
Exactly. And it's quite sobering to think about, isn't it? Their alarms were set, maybe clothes laid out.
A mental to-do list running. All those familiar signs of a day about to start.
And yet, it's just never did for them. That very morning, we might, begrudge the chance even to mutter about it.
It's something they've lost completely.
Yeah, it is. And the book, it uses these incredibly relatable stories to bring this principle to life. Like, take Jake, the soldier.
Okay.
Years of just grueling training, pre-dawn wake-ups, harsh conditions. All he dreamed about was sleeping in, the luxury of it.
I can imagine. Sounds tough.
Very. Then a battlefield injury. It led to his medical discharge. And suddenly he got his wish. But the reality, as he found out, well, it was quite different.
Ah, this is where it flips, right? Like the be careful what you wish for idea.
Sort of, yeah. What he once resented so much, those demanding early mornings, they suddenly represented something fundamental.
Like his very existence.
His existence, yeah, and a sense of purpose, being part of something bigger. Now, the book says he actually chooses to wake with the sunrise.
Voluntarily, after all that.
Voluntarily. His motivation now is fueled by this deep sense of gratitude for each new day. It's a complete, 180-degree shift in how he frames his mornings.
That's powerful. It really shows how perspective changes everything.
Precisely. His journey just underscores that. And then there's another story about Lena.
Okay, Lena. What's her situation?
Hers is maybe more relatable for many of us day to day. Whirlwind life, constantly rushing. Those 5 a.m. starts were just a constant source of annoyance for her.
The early coffee, the emails piling up, maybe getting kids ready, the commute, that whole routine.
Exactly. The chaos, the traffic battles. It felt like this endless uphill climb,
Yeah, that picture is very familiar, that feeling of being constantly behind from the moment you wake up.
But then, Lena experienced this unimaginable loss. The sudden death of her best friend, Julia.
Oh, wow.
And in that instant, her whole perception of those hectic mornings, it just underwent this radical transformation.
So the loss changed how she saw the mornings she used to hate.
Completely. What's so powerful about Lena's story, as Yish and Cocoh tell it, is how her complaints were just replaced by this profound gratitude.
Gratitude for the chaos.
Gratitude for the chance at chaos. The very things she used to find irritating the early hour, the busyness, they became incredibly precious.
Because her friend didn't have them anymore.
Exactly. So now, when she feels that familiar urge to hit snooze, she consciously, deliberately thinks of Julia. Thinks about the fact that Julia will never have another morning, rushed or otherwise.
Wow. It's like a deliberate act of thankfulness each time.
It is a stark reminder, like you said, of how loss can really sharpen our focus on what matters.
It definitely does. Okay, who else do Ish and Cocoh talk about?
Well, there's James, the businessman. His life was, a blur, early flights, late meetings, always promising his daughter more quality time later.
The later trap.
Exactly. And those early morning moments, the quick breakfast, maybe a hug before school, often sacrificed for his career demands.
Sounds familiar for a lot of busy people.
It does, and James's story connects to that risk, of constantly putting off what's really important. Because for him, a cancer diagnosis brought this sudden, irreversible end to later. Yeah. And he found himself just longing, deeply longing, for the very mornings he used to resent.
The hurried breakfasts, the sleepy goodbyes.
All of it. The silly questions, the routine stuff. Those ordinary moments suddenly became imbued with this extraordinary value because his perspective was forced to change.
It really underscores the fragility of time, doesn't it? And being present in those seemingly small moments.
Absolutely. And Ish and Cocoh also bring in another perspective from Gracia, who's a hospice nurse.
Okay, that's got to be an impactful viewpoint.
Immensely. Her perspective, having, witnessed so many journeys nearing their end, it's particularly powerful.
What does she observe?
What's really eye-opening is Gracia's daily experience with people facing their final sunrises. She sees what truly holds meaning when time is finite.
What's the common thread?
The consistent reflection she observes is this. Not a single person she has cared for regrets waking up early in their lives. Not one.
Really? No complaints about the early mornings looking back?
None. Instead, their thoughts are often filled with this, wistful longing for the mornings they took for granted.
The ones they rushed through without thinking.
The ones they didn't appreciate, yeah. The simple gift of another day that they just didn't fully recognize at the time. It definitely, it gives you pause.
It really does.
Yeah.
So this all prompts an important moment of reflection for you, the listener, right?
Absolutely. The next time your alarm sounds, what's that initial reaction going to be? Yish and Cocoh encourage us to maybe just create a brief pause.
Before the automatic sigh and reaching for the snooze button.
Yeah, exactly. Just take a second. Consider maybe the first hint of light through the curtains.
Or the sound of your own heartbeat, maybe? The world waking up outside?
Yes. Those tangible signs that another day is unfolding, that you have another opportunity. It's proof of life, really.
And instead of that ingrained habit of complaint, Yish and Cocoh offer these alternative ways to frame it internally.
They do. Powerful alternative reframes, like telling yourself, I have another day to live.
Or maybe, I have a purpose that calls me to wake. Something that gets you out of bed.
Right. Or even, I have been given time that someone else deeply desires. Thinking back to those stories.
Those subtle shifts in our internal dialogue,
Yeah.
they can have a really profound effect on our whole outlook, can't they?
Definitely. It changes the whole tone of the day before it even properly starts.
So, wrapping this up, what's the core message here from Yish and Cocoh?
Ultimately, through these stories, through this fourth principle, they're illuminating that often overlooked privilege, the privilege inherent in each new morning.
It's not just the start of another to-do list.
No, it's fundamental evidence that we get to keep experiencing life. It's huge when you think about it that way.
The central takeaway really is the transformative power of perspective, then.
Absolutely. Choosing gratitude over complaint, even for something as basic as waking up, can reshape our entire daily experience. It encourages us to see the beauty, the gift, in what seems ordinary.
It truly does. So yeah, the next time that alarm goes off, maybe take that breath.
Reflect on this perspective that Yish and Cocoh share in their book.
Ask yourself, how might recognizing this unseen privilege reshape your experience of those early hours?
Yeah.
And maybe your entire day.
Great food for thought. Thanks for listening. Grab Yish Estayo and Cocoh Lacerna's latest book on Amazon. Need coaching, book writing and publishing, or business consulting? Yish has your back. Contact Yish Estayo or leave a comment. Until next time, keep diving deep. #.